to see a real farm-to-table operation. We're in northern Missouri, in the heartland of America. This is Phillips Farms and the new home of Honey Creek Feed. Do you ever wonder what happens to your microwave popcorn if you don't actually go buy it at the store? What if it's overproduced? You ever wonder what happens to the cookies and all the other food items? We're about to find out. Tell us a little bit about how you are incorporating human ingredients into the diets of your animals' nutrition.
Yeah, for sure. So what we do is we take the overproduction of bakery products and we utilize them into the pig diet. So whenever we say overproduction, what we're talking about is if these different companies are producing food. So product A, B, and C. And so what they'll do from say 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., they'll make product A. And then when they switch products, they could go ahead and shut down the whole line, clean it all out, and start product B. But what they'll do is it's more efficient for them to send product B through. And what they'll do, there's about 10 minutes where they'll overlap flavors and they'll pull that off the line. And that's what they send to us. So it's not a product that is wasted or bad or expired.
Not even expired.
Right, exactly.
It's actually probably fresher than the stuff we're buying in the store.
Exactly, because it's coming directly from the factory to us.
Wow. So then you take that and you blend it in small amounts into your animal diet, right?
Exactly.
So that basically would replace corn that now is being able to be used in some other diet, or it's being used for ethanol or whatever.
Yeah.
So we're able to take the same amount of crop, and instead of just feeding it to an animal, you're able to do other things with it or feed more animals with it.
Yeah, exactly. And it is safer for the pig too, because the food, whenever we use human grade food, right, it's been through a process that is regulated very stringently because it's supposed to end up with you and I.
Right.
But what they do, since they can't use it, they would just be sending it all to landfills.
Okay.
Which then, nobody likes that. Nobody likes seeing a landfill. So it all goes to landfills, but instead it's able to come to us and we're able to use it to feed our pigs.
So now you're being more efficient, you're eliminating landfill waste, and you're basically increasing the amount of every acre that's being produced, that is actually able to feed more animals.
Exactly. So as a farmer, we're able to be more efficient.
Let's check it out. Pretty good. I'm eating it. Quality ingredients, waste to energy, recycled ingredients, biosecurity, the latest tracking technology. So you have bays, these different bays, basically whenever it gets debagged, you're gonna throw it into this process where it takes the bags, chops them up, comes up here, and then the good product falls out here. It looks like this is a little bit smaller product.
Yep.
This is a little bit bigger product, and then you have your packaging on the end.
Exactly.
Okay, so you're separating that out. Now this is a very efficient way to actually blend that back into the animal's diet.
Exactly.
And then you can take that packaging and you recycle that?
Yeah, so we are actually taking that currently to a facility that is going to incinerate it and use it to produce energy.
Okay, so you're basically waste to power then.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. So it's a full circle.
100%.
I love that. So you guys are really concerned about the feed conversion because that allows the animal, I mean, it's the same as humans, right? Like the better we always call it bioavailability in humans, and it's called feed conversion in animal nutrition. Right. But it's really the same thing.
Right.
So,
right, exactly.
Little tip for you.
We also run a construction company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so we built the entire mill. We did everything except the electrical. But like all these hoppers, we fabricated and built.
Fabricate that all in-house.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
So this is where, out front we saw kind of your bigger ingredients.
Yeah.
But this is where all of our micro ingredients come into play. So like all of your vitamins and your trace minerals.
So let me just explain. Here's Monday. Here's Tuesday. Now, what happens is,
Exactly.
so you basically take this and you drop it in here, but this is for animal nutrition. It's called a micro ingredient feeder, but really it's like your vitamins and minerals, but you get it come in bags like this, and then you drop this bag in here, and then it micro doses in per batch. And so you can actually just always micro control those ingredients. So there again, I think if we had this for our lives, we would be much healthier, because I sometimes forget to take my vitamins, but this thing makes sure it's always in your food.
Yeah, exactly. And you can also see kind of another highlight as to putting the pig's health and safety and efficiency above everything else.
Another one up here too.
Where we have all these different compartments where we can add in micro ingredients and different things like that. We can also add in medication if the pigs are sick.
Okay.
So we can add it in directly into their feed. And so what we'll do is this line that comes across the micro table room here, that is a soybean meal.
So my grandpa, when he started this, they cleaned wheat and soybeans and oats in here.
Yeah.
And so there was a bagger, and they did small seeds, clover, fescue, stuff like that. So we reused some of the, that was above the cleaner.
Okay.
So we repurposed it for, as the soybean comes in, it goes through the hammer mill, which breaks it into pieces. And then it takes it and it puts it up into this bin above the extruder.
Remember that press we saw at Instapro? This is what it looks like in action. You see how the cake is coming out? So the meal is coming in hot, and then it's coming out through the machine. The oil is getting pressed. Can we open up a side? Let's open up a side. You can see how the oil is coming out, squeezing out through that cage. So it's squeezing out through the cage, and that hot oil is getting dripped down. And then it's going to come out the bottom. And the oil goes one way, and then the meal goes the other.
So that flushes, anytime we run any medication for any of our pigs, we always flush with soybean meal to ensure that all the medication is cleaned out and it's delivered to the pigs.
Can I drop a bag in here for something?
For sure. We can keep the cost of our feed low, because whenever our feed cost is low, the consumer price at the grocery store is low.
Right.
If we're wasting money, we don't want to dump a bunch of money into the feed, a bunch of money into the pigs, because then we're not going to make money, but then also the consumer isn't going to be able to afford.
Right. In America, we're able to drive costs down, and we're able to keep feed costs down, which allows us to keep the price of meat down.
Exactly.
So that affects you directly as a consumer. So now we're in the basement, in the lair. No, what this is actually the heart of the mill.
Yes.
So you have all these ingredient bins up above. They're all feeding into this, and this is where this batch is happening. And you have two, basically, one's rotating clockwise, one's rotating counterclockwise, two mixers that are working against each other inside there, and they're pushing all the feed through and blending it to where it's a nice, even mix.
Exactly. And that's the point of it, of having the twin rotation, is to ensure that every bite that the pig takes is a complete ration.
That's amazing. And then it drops out of here into a surge hopper, comes up into these giant elevator legs, goes all the way up and back into that bin to be loaded out.
Yep. And then our trucks take it out and take it to the pigs.
That's fantastic. And it's all controlled from a little computer.
One of the things with feeding pigs is biosecurity is always at the front of our mind.
Yeah.
So one of the things we do, like with our receiving trucks, any truck that comes through here drives through a disinfecting station.
Oh, really?
And then all of our feed trucks have built-in disinfectors on the trucks.
Okay.
So the truck drivers have a toggle switch inside just to try to keep the spread of pig disease down. Because when pig disease spreads,
It's bad for everybody.
bad for everybody. Because
Bad for you as a consumer.
so this is our loadout. This is where we custom built all this stuff, guys, here right in our community, which is pretty awesome. But anyway, so what this is that those are perfectly spaced out for our feed trucks. When our feed trucks come in, they pull underneath. We're able to load the truck in about 30 seconds.
Wow.
And then send back out. So efficiency is key. We can make a load of feed in about 15 minutes now. And it took us about 30 minutes to load a truck, and now we can load a truck in about 30 seconds.
30 minutes to 30 seconds. That's a slight improvement.
Right, exactly. And the number of pigs we're feeding is going up significantly.
Yeah.
But
how many are you feeding now?
we'll end up feeding around 400,000 pigs.
400,000 pigs.
Kind of the goal for us to
That's
get
like
to.
a pretty good sized city.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's a lot of pigs.
Some of the struggles or misconceptions that we run into, especially as pig farmers, is hog confinement buildings. Like, people kind of have a negative opinion on that, but whenever you get down to it, it's the most effective way to raise a pig. Whether it's capturing the manure in the pit that would just run off down into the ditch, or ensuring that that pig is living in a comfortable environment. You know, it's all temperature controlled. There's a computer that runs that entire barn, controlling how much air is moving. You know, if it gets hot in the summertime, it turns sprinklers on to keep the pigs cool. You know, the pigs are incredibly comfortable. So that is one area that I feel like there's a misconception. You know, we're able to take that manure and apply it directly where it needs to be in the fields to be sure we're using that manure in an optimal way.
All right, so we're at a CAFO. This is a controlled animal feeding operation. So what that means is there's 6,000 head of weaned to finished pigs in this barn, and they're basically being grown out and living their life so they can become bacon for you. How is this feed being delivered into these barns? There's bins outside that have flexible augers. Those flexible augers come to little feeding troughs that come in here, so it's directly delivered from the outside bin all the way through these tubes, all the way down, and it hits different feed bins. So, genius way of transporting feed. What is the life cycle that they're in here for?
They're in here for roughly about 6 months. They'll be,
6
as
months.
soon as they come off the mom, they'll come in here. We'll have little heaters that hang from the ceiling. You can see those. They'll keep them warm.
Yeah.
We've got mats that we'll feed them on because they're not quite big enough to eat out of the feeders yet. And then they'll start eating out of the feeders, and as they grow, they just live their lives right here.
Yeah, okay. So if you don't know where your bacon's coming from, now you do.